And from the wastelands of the internet, I come again. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have once again returned. Yes, we have news. We have special news for poor old McCarthy has been fired from the speaker position of the U.S. House. And boy howdy, are the rhinos upset. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Gaetz called for a vote and they ousted him. Now, before people understand what just happened, okay, I want people to think about this. What you just saw was 8 members of the GOP caucus vote against the current speaker because he lied to those 8 people, made deals with the Democrats when it comes to this shutdown that was just quote unquote shutdown that was just threatened. That wouldn't have been a shutdown. He made a deal with them. He said, okay, we'll agree to keep the government going. Every Dem voted for it for the most part. 190 Republicans voted against it. And so the deal passed. The little continuation for 45 days of the spending bill. And one of the Republicans called the vote to say, you lied to us. You made a deal with the Democrats. And so we're going to call for a vote for Speaker. Now, I want you to consider this. Every rhino that's out there, all these calls right now are, please, some member for the GOP, side with the Dems, side with the Dems. What do you mean side with the Dems? You just had 8 of them side with the Dems. You just had 8. 8 of the MAGA wing, as Raskins was saying. It was a MAGA wing. Then why did you vote with him? Raskins? There's none that said you had to vote with them. Why did every single Dem vote against McCarthy? If you're so butthurt about the GOP and the conservative Republicans, the CRs, if you're so freaking, why did the Dems? There's one guy who's up there goes, I'm going to change parties now. I'm going to become a Dem because of these conservative Republicans. Meanwhile, the people he's joining was also part of this whole thing to get rid of McCarthy. Boy, your logic is just astounding, dude. Your logic is just astounding. And what do we see here, right? People are saying, well, you didn't have a plan to replace him. It doesn't matter. He's gone. See, the government shutdown wasn't a shutdown. And everybody knew it. What couldn't happen is excess spending. Well, the troops, we had to pay the troops, and we had to pay the Border Patrol. Hey, then demand that the Border Patrol and the troops be paid. That's easy enough to do. Pass a spending bill, or pass a bill that says that in order for the continuation of the government, right, that the troops and the Border Patrol have to be paid first before all the other payments go out there. Start tying the hands of the president. That's what you're supposed to be doing. I did it to save the troops. McCarthy? No, first of all, I want to say this about Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy is not a rhino. Okay? He made a bad choice, and he was a weak leader. He was too weak a leader to rein in the rhinos in the GOP. People think it was the the conservatives that needed to be reined in. No, it was the rhinos that needed to be reined in. Because it was the rhinos that were constantly blocking, all right, what was necessary for the conservative agenda. And once you joined the Dems, okay, you were done, McCarthy, because what you learned and what all these rhinos are now learning is that if you side with the Dems, don't expect them to be grateful. They'll stab you in the back the first opportunity they get, and then they'll go, look at him, look at those MAGA, look at those MAGA. Raskins, you voted just for those 8 MAGA. How come you voted for those 8 MAGA? Not one single reporter asked him that question, and that should have been thrown right into his face. Then why did you vote with them? If this was such a big deal, then why did you vote with them? Raskin. It's time you put a speaker. It's time you put somebody that's willing to take the press on as speaker and go directly to these people and go, why are you asking me this? If you shut down the government and the troops aren't getting paid, ask Biden. He's the one who says, I want to pay the Ukraine and not my troops. Why don't you ask the guy who has the ability to change that? That guy on his own can walk right on over there and say, you know what, we're going to spend this right over here. But see, his priority is not American citizens. And it's about time people understood that that's the entire Dem agenda. It's about time people started to understand that if you want American citizens to be paid first, then you better start taking a freaking quick look at who these Dems really are. Because they're not America first. They never have been. So, what are we showing here? This is Twitter. Twitter is a freaking joke. It is hilarious. I love this little temper tantrum here by Speaker McHenry. Boy, is he mad! Look at him! Look at
subject to the call of the chair.
Look at how mad he is! Have you ever seen this little weasel ever get this mad with everything else that's been going on? With his little bow tie. Oh, I'm angry! Bang! Okay. So who's one of the people? All right, Byron Donalds from Florida. Okay, is one of the people who's one of the front runners. Great friggin' pick. Great pick. He's eloquent. He doesn't take shit from the press and the media. Put him up there. Nominate him. But the thing that has to be pointed out time and time and time again, like I said, I had never considered McCarthy a rhino. McCarthy was, however, weak. And all the other rhinos, I hope, are watching this because you just got a serious lesson to see what was going to happen if you reach across the aisle with the Dems. They don't reciprocate. It only would have taken 8 Dems to say, you know what, we're just going to leave the speaker where it is right now. That's all it would have taken. 8. It wouldn't have damaged the caucus. It wouldn't have damaged the Democrats in any standing. But nope. They all voted with those rascally MAGA Republicans. Then why did you vote for it with them? If this has upset you, Raskins, if this has upset you, AOC, then why did you vote with them? Every one of these Democrats that's coming out here bitching and crying and sitting up there whining, looking right in the face of them. Why did you vote with those guys? If they're such bad people, why did you vote with them? What was your reasoning for voting with them, for joining them, for reaching across the aisle in bipartisanship with the most evil MAGA people you could find? Why did you do that? I'm not going to go on too long. I just wanted to point this out. The Dems voted 100% unanimous to oust him, to oust McCarthy. McCarthy would not be ousted if the Democrats wouldn't have voted with 8 recalcitrant members of the GOP. And it needs to be pointed out. And it should be taken up. When anybody says anything about it, say, well, then why did the Dems vote with it? Why did they join these guys if they're so bad? If Matt Gaetz is so bad, why did all these Dems vote with it? Don't take this kind of guff. Now, why did I do this? Look, the conservatives need a leader, a strong leader, someone who's going to sit up there and push conservative principles, not sit up there and make deals, all right, to spend us into oblivion. And if they don't want a government shutdown, if they think a government shutdown is going to be the worst thing than ever, then they need to sit up there and go right across that aisle, right over to those Dems, and sit up there and go, you know what? If you don't start doing what we say, we're going to start taking away all of your little goodies. Because if you won't work with me, why should I work with you? And there's been the rub for the longest time. The spinelessness of the GOP rhinos to look at their enemies, and their enemies over there. The Dems think of you as an enemy. Look at what they just did to McCarthy, and then they turned around and tried to say, oh no, the people we voted with, it's them that was the problem. 210, I think it was 218 people voted to remove Speaker McCarthy. 218. Only 8 Republicans. That meant 210 Democrats. 210 Democrats all voted with those evil MAGA worst Republicans ever. And now we're going to get somebody who's going to be a lot stronger. And my choice is Byron Donalds. Would I like to see Trump? Oh, it would be hilarious to nominate Trump. It would be hilarious if Trump was selected. Do not misunderstand me. The sheer terror and havoc that would happen as a result. I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see it. They're never going to do it. Right? All right. There's a good chance to vote for Trump. No, they're not going to vote for Trump. That's just not going to happen. Would I like to see it? Oh, I would love to see it. You know who else I would like to see if they decided not to do Trump, if they wanted to go outside of Congress? Put Giuliani in there. Bring in another pit bull. Bring in Giuliani. Somebody else who loves the limelight. But no, my pick is Byron Donalds. He's a great pick. He's a solid conservative, and he won't take shit from the press. So let's see what he does. Let's see what he does. You're talking about somebody who sits up there and is able to say, who would just rub it in the nose of the Black Caucus. The guys who absolutely snubbed him. The Congressional Black Caucus has snubbed Byron Donalds, right? Let's take a look at what people are saying about Byron Donalds. Other people, no. Anyone of the establishment is promoting, no. He's not being promoted by the establishment. Yes, I wish he had been made speaker instead of the uniparty, Kevin. Exactly. He didn't want to remove McCarthy, so he's a no for me. Look, removing McCarthy on a no vote was immaterial. It's immaterial who you're picking now. Okay? I know a lot of people wanted McCarthy gone. A lot of people wanted McCarthy gone because he walked across the aisle. Well, if you want to talk about people who reached across the aisle and got rid of McCarthy, well, it's the 8 conservatives that voted for him to be gone. Think about that. Once again, I'm going to point this out. 210 Democrats and 8 Republicans voted to remove McCarthy. 210. McCarthy sided with those 210 just a few days ago. Just a couple of days ago. He made a deal with them. He reached across the aisle with them. He had a handshake with them. And how did they repay him? By stabbing him right in the back. And that is the lesson to the rhinos. Don't reach across the aisle with these people. You can have a disagreement about McCarthy. He wasn't a rhino. He was establishment. Okay? Byron Donalds is not really establishment. Trust me, he is not part of the establishment. Okay? And he will fight. At least I suspect that he will. I want to give them a chance. But as far as Raskins coming out going, oh no, the ultra right wing. Well, why'd you vote with the ultra right wing? Raskins? The ultra right wing got rid of McCarthy. It's a shame. Oh, really? Then why did you vote that way? Why'd you vote with him? Why'd you join him? See, Hakeem Jeffries has already come out and said, this is our chance. We can get a couple of rhinos to join our side. We can take back the House. We can get a couple of rhinos to join our side. Go ahead. Let the purge begin. All McCarthy had to do was live up to some of his rhetoric. He said he was going to release the January 6th tapes. How come he hasn't? He said he was going to hold a series of votes, not the least of which is on term limits. How come he hasn't? Nothing's stopping him from doing that. He could have done very simple up and down votes right at the start of all this. And even if they lost the votes, it doesn't matter. Even if the Senate wouldn't approve any of this, it wouldn't have mattered. Well, although releasing the House tapes has nothing to do with the Senate. So McCarthy reneged because he was trying to work deals with the Democrats that he wasn't willing to work with the conservatives in his own party. And this has been the problem. And how did they repay him? How did those Democrats repay him? By stabbing him right in the back. All his friends stabbed him right in the back. Because he's establishment. And what do they do what does the establishment do with useless Republicans? They stab them in the back. Every chance they get. And so what you're going to see now is a bunch of rhinos terrified because they know that their power, they can't rely upon the Dems to maintain their power. It used to be they could sit up there and rely upon the Dems if they jumped aisles to try and support them. The Dems won't support them, though. Never would. It's been a long time since Democrats have ever reached across the aisle for any kind of an agreement with a conservative. It hasn't happened. And the Dem people, Democrats as a whole, they're so delusional. They think, oh, we've had this bipartisanship. We reached across the aisle. We reached across the aisle. You've never reached across the aisle. You've never made a sacrifice. So now there's a chance. This government shutdown is something that people wanted because the American people now understand that the government actually won't shut down. And what you're going to see is the prioritization, all right, of the Democrat Party, which they don't want outed because it isn't the people. It isn't the troops. It's not the American people. No, it's foreigners and foreign interests and their lobbying interests that have nothing to do with the American people and the American citizens. And it's about time people got a lesson on that. It really is. All right, this is just, like I said, this is going to be very quick. Okay, Rhino is a Rhino, and we're like that's comes. Like I said, he's not a rhino, all right, but he's weak. He couldn't handle the fact that the press was going to try and castigate. He didn't know how to handle the press. You don't even after all the lessons that Trump delivered, all right, on how to handle the press. Understand that they're a hostile group of sycophantic, lying hypocrites. And call them sycophantic, lying hypocrites to their face by pointing out these things. Do you care? As soon as they came up with, well, what about the troops that aren't being paid? Do you think the troops should be paid? You think the troops should be prioritized? That should be a priority? So what's your priority? Is your priority the troops or is your priority the Ukraine because they've already said, well, we're gonna pay the Ukraine. We're gonna give money away to the Ukraine. Biden has already showed his hand there. Biden already did it. The Dems had already done it. They'd already revealed their hand. You had the club, McCarthy. All you had to do was wield it. And when the press came up, well, our troops aren't getting paid. Well, why are you asking me? I'm not the one who's preventing them from getting paid. The one who has to pay the checks and needs to make the tough decision, like a president is supposed to be, is President Biden. Why haven't you asked him that question? He's got plenty of money. You see, not extending the debt doesn't shut the government down. What it does do is it prevents more debt from piling on. That's all it does. So you got freaking good old Biden there going, well, I want to spend this into oblivion. Well, you got plenty of money. I want you people to understand something. We're running a $2 trillion deficit. $2 trillion. Okay? We've got a $4 trillion out of the U.S. economy is going straight to the government every freaking year. And they can't balance the budget. Well, we're all the spending on the Pentagon. You could end all spending to the DOD, and you know what? You would still be running a freaking $1 trillion deficit. You took away all the funding for the DOD, all of it, all of their programs, okay? All of the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, the Marines, all of them, and said, you know what? We're not paying another dime toward any of this. And you'd still be a $1 trillion deficit going. We'd still be spending $5 trillion. That's how out of whack this has gotten. And you point it out to these people, and they have no comeback. Well, it's about time that they sit up there and start making the hard choices. It's about time that the president earned his pay. And if his pay is saying, well, I'm going to prioritize the Ukraine rather than the American soldiers, let every frickin' buddy, every swinging little child out there see what his true priorities are, because they're not American priorities. All right, they're selfish priorities for himself, because that son of a bitch is getting kickbacks and funding into his personal treasury. That's what this whole bullshit's been about. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Like I said, I just want to do a quick little thing here. Appreciate you all coming. Hope you all have a good day. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.